Hey y'all, I'm back. So I really wanted to get on here again and just share another message of about manifestation, new beginnings, angel numbers, and how it all connects to the present moment, your reality, and just what I've experienced within my journey to hopefully where you can connect it within your journey and your understanding of how to manifest and how things work out for you and how everything is connected and everything happens for a reason. So for me, throughout this whole journey, I've really wanted to embrace trusting myself, trusting my intuition, and going with the flow, having a more fruitful life, right? Abundant life, and be able to manifest the things that are starting to come into my life. And to me, manifesting, a better lifestyle, right? So being able to wear the clothes I wear, being able to, live in a better environment, be able to, do all these things that I'm currently doing and moving towards certain things and manifesting the material things, right? So, if you're trying to manifest a new home, a new car, a new job, a new lifestyle, even with my weight loss and my health journey, overcoming these challenges, these health obstacles, conditions, medical conditions that I've experienced to help me not only heal and how it connects to my trauma and how it connects to everything and my spiritual growth as well too, right? And so for me, it doesn't, I've understood it to where it doesn't happen overnight. And when you look at manifesting, when you look at these certain aspects of your life, sometimes we really don't understand it at first, right? Especially when you're going through a lot of trauma, a lot of, stressful situations, hardships, stuff like that. So some of my experiences, I've been homeless. I've been without food. Currently I don't have a vehicle. There's certain things that I've experienced in my life to where I was like, well, how can I experience a better way of living, a better way of, having my own place, being able to live the way I want to and not feel so stressed out or overwhelmed about it, right? Having a better job or not having to have to go to work and being able to focus more on my healing journey and focus on more on just my growth, my self-development overall, right? And so throughout this journey, I've learned that for looking at it in a spiritual sense, right? Manifesting due to the new moon, the moon cycles, that is an aspect, right? You can manifest, you can put it out into the universe that you want these things, these materialistic things. Yet at the same time, you have to put in the work to do that. You have to reflect. You have to understand, these certain things within yourself and that you've overcome or that you're trying to overcome, right? So a lot of my trauma, a lot of my, traumatic experiences that I've been through, and then certain things that like unhealthy habits and whatnot that I was into. So for instance, I used to drink and smoke a lot of the times, almost every day. I was, into marijuana. I was into, partying. I was into certain things, and I also wanted to have that nice figure. I wanted to feel beautiful. I wanted to just be healthy overall. But those two for me did not work out together. And so part of my journey was disconnecting from drinking, disconnecting from smoking weed, because a lot of it led me into things that I really didn't want to do. It was more of just a very unhealthy environment for me, very unhealthy habits, right? And so for me, disconnecting from those, disconnecting from people that were into that, it helped me transform myself to, not only look within and know that I don't need those things in my life, right? But also to really see the fact that a lot of times those things were just like coping mechanisms for me. Like I did those things because I was either bored or just lonely, or, I wanted to feel happy, but those things never brought me happiness. And so since disconnecting, from those things, from those environments, not going out and partying, not hanging around individuals that did that all the time, it was coming into myself and understanding myself, understanding why I did those things, understanding that, I don't need those things to be happy, right? And with my health, it also transformed my health, it transformed my skincare, it transformed just how I really took care of myself, because those things aren't good for our body in general. Drinking all the time, smoking weed, we don't need those things. And some people may say, well, it's a plant, we smoke a plant, and that's cool. But at the same time, you got to understand, like for me in my journey, like I was not only smoking weed, I was doing edibles, but I was doing this daily, and I was doing it so excessively that I was never sober. Like I was never, the way I am today. And it was really leading me in other directions. It was leading me into these other unhealthy habits. Now, there might be people that are able to smoke weed and be, good, right? But for me, I made the choice that I didn't want to do that anymore. And I don't judge anybody that does it. It's more so, this is my journey, this is my story, and this is why I don't do it. And I just, I feel better. I feel more productive when I'm not connected to those things. And when you surround yourself with people that do those things, you kind of connect yourself to it to where it could lead you to do it again. And so that was like a really big thing for me, was I didn't want to feel pressured to do it, right? And so I would disconnect from those things. And it took me a while. It took me a long time. Because there was times where I would be sober for 6 months, and I would look at it as that, like, okay, how long can I go? Because I was also told that I was an addict. There was, that certain mindset that I had where it was like, I had to have that stuff. And then I had to realize that I just needed to change my mindset about it. The fact that I don't need it. And even that takes some time to just really ingrain in your mind, because it's all a mindset thing at the end of the day. And so for me, over time, I was able to disconnect from those things to where I didn't even crave it. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even like, oh, I feel like I need this. To where it's like I can go into a grocery store and go down that aisle, and it's just like it doesn't even faze me, kind of thing, right? And so like just things like that, with, alcohol, marijuana, and just certain environments as well. My shirt got stuck to my plants. Well, my fake little artistic little vibe back here. But anyways, so it was me just understanding that these things were holding me back. These things were limiting from my true potential, right? And so also I really wanted to heal. I really wanted to see, because I never really struggled with those things before. It was a trigger from when my father was murdered that started me getting into these kind of habits. And I had to also realize that, in a sense, like, why was I wanting to drink all the time? Why did I connect with these kind of things, right? And so it was like going back into my past, going back to my traumas, going back to these triggers that I had over time that led me in these directions. So after my father was murdered was when I actually started drinking more, started kind of like just not caring, and pretty much just, not understanding the trauma behind it, not understanding how like I just wanted to escape, because grief is a big thing that is hard to understand, in a sense, because it's like, somebody that you loved all of a sudden passes away, and they pass away due to a violent act unexpectedly, especially even around a holiday. So my dad was murdered around Christmas time, and I had a chance to see him right before that, literally the night before. And so all of that, it was like almost a huge, wake up call throughout this whole journey to understand that it connects back to that. And so for me, I really, had to do this work and understand these things. Not only disconnect from the drinking, the marijuana, understand it was deteriorating my health, but it also connected back to a lot of these other traumas that I kind of like suppressed or forgot about. And even the fact that, me being sexually assaulted well under the influence, and multiple times, and it connected back to that. So that was another big reason why I really just wanted to disconnect from alcohol and marijuana altogether. And now that I'm in this place of, I'm still healing, I'm still discovering these truths, these connections, right, within myself. And that's what I mean by this spiritual journey, this self-development, this growth. We take a look at some of these things that we experienced from our past, the traumatic things, even if it, like with car accidents. So I've been in car accidents. I was in a school bus accident. I've been in multiple accidents where it also affected me physically, right? And looking at how it's connected to where it's brought me into these places where I have these resources now that can provide me the support to help me be able to not have to work, in a sense, right? So not have to go to like a regular type of job, to where I have to not only work a job to pay the bills, but also focus on my healing. And so understanding all this for myself was really not only connecting the dots, finding these resources that helped me get to the place where I'm at today, as in, like, I've been through a lot of things to where, there's certain jobs that I've held. So I've been a caregiver, I've been a lot of things, but a lot of these jobs were only making it worse, right? Because I was either overworking myself. And so I also had to take the responsibility and the ownership that, okay, all this stuff that's connected, it's really limiting, it's really holding me back. The alcohol use, the marijuana, the partying, and even trying to hold down a job and these certain things. It was just making not only my mental health worse, my physical body worse, and so much more. And then even these diagnoses, right? So they recommend you to stay away from alcohol, stay away from these drugs. Yet we still have this belief that we're addicted to it. We still have this belief that we can't escape it. When for me, like, I wanted to escape it, and I felt like I couldn't escape it. And so I not only had to work on, this journey of disconnecting from the environment, the alcohol, the marijuana, but also the belief behind it too. That it's not necessarily the drug and alcohol that's the problem. It's me. Why am I wanting to escape? Why? It connects back to my dad's murder, back to my assaults, back to all these multiple little things. And it's like a spider web, right? And even with these certain jobs and overworking myself, because if you're stressed out, if you're overly stressed all the time while drinking and, involved in environments, it's just an overwhelming effect on your whole entire body. And even with my physical issues, my certain conditions, with my accidents that I've been in, my medical issues, so like my heart condition, my epilepsy, all these things, it all connects. And so for me, I had to finally come to a place in my life and recognize these, take responsibility that I was allowing all this to happen, right? And I wanted to live differently. I wanted to change my life. I wanted to overcome these obstacles. especially with my medical conditions, because it was like, okay, well, I'm still doing these things. So it's like I'm really making an excuse for myself. And I don't want to do that no more. I really want to heal. But with the medical conditions, if I'm still dabbing into these other unhealthy habits, it doesn't coexist. It doesn't co-align. And so that was a big thing for me, was not only disconnecting from these environments, these people, these things that I was into, the unhealthy habits, even, the foods that I ate, all of it, right? To not only transform me physically, but also spiritually, which connects. And so it connects emotionally, spiritually, financially, all the above. And so that's what I've really worked on for myself to get to where I'm at today, to have these new beginnings, to have these new resources come into play. Taking responsibility for my actions, going back to therapy and really, finding the right therapist for me, understanding how I can work with the system than against it, and reprogramming my mind to believe that that I can have all this work out in my favor. And that, there's challenges, especially in the beginning of understanding all this, becoming aware, right? And really noticing that, you may not understand it in the moment, but just to keep moving forward. Because that's a struggle in itself too, is believing that, it's all going to work out in the end. Because I even look back to these times where it's like, it was very hard to disconnect from drinking, even being around social groups. Like, I'm a very social person. I love being around people. And it's not that I didn't love these people or didn't, want to be around these people, but it was just the action with some of these things that they were into. And then some of these people were very toxic. Some of these people were very, in a different mindset than I was as well too. Some of them may not see the vision that I see for myself and what I see with the world, and how I want to make a more positive impact, not only for myself but for others as well. And not holding that mindset, not holding on to a victim mentality. And so since then, it's slowly disconnecting, slowly understanding myself, slowly taking responsibility, understanding as part of a process, coming into this awareness, this new consciousness. And that's when things start to flow in for you. That's when things start to really, really flow more easily, I would say. Because at first, it's a challenge, because you really don't know. You don't know. You're going into this unknown. You're becoming the fool, right? You're becoming the fool, and you're stepping into the unknown, and you're just trusting not only yourself, because even on the spiritual aspect. So I was raised religious, and disconnecting from that, and having that fear behind it, having that fear within the whole aspect of it all, right? And still doing it, still pushing yourself in a sense to where it's like, okay, I know there's something more. I know there's something deeper that connects to all of this. And that has been a lot of my experience. Is it's like me, I'm like one of those logical planners to where it's like I have to have things planned out. I have to know ahead of time. I need to know what's going to happen before it happens. But within that, I had to learn that, not everything, I can't know everything. I don't know everything. And there's a lot of things, especially like today I was talking about in my last video, where it's like, this new beginning, this new therapist, this new experience that I had today, like I didn't know, but it was listening to that intuition, because I had a list of places that I called, and I was trying to understand and how to get involved. And so there was this one place that was just calling, just the name. It was just calling out to me. And it was like, okay, I'm gonna call this place. You know, this is the place. It's like something in my intuition was pretty much telling me, right, that this is a place. And it was like, you know, not only the experience that I had today, but that's just more of a like the confirmation for myself that it's like I really do need to listen to my intuition more and trust in the universe, because you don't have to chase after anything. Especially when you step into this new energy, step into understanding yourself, you know, and releasing all these old cycles and healing these old traumas, these past traumas, because that's the one thing I also had to understand about traumas. They're in the past. It's an experience that I went through, and sometimes we can relive them due to the PTSD, due to, you know, the memories, all these things, right? And what I really wanted to work on was not being focused so much on the past, on what happened to me, and to, you know, live more in the moment, and even not even focus too much on the future, and not be so logical to have everything lined out and perfectly like, well, this is how I'm going to do this. You know, this is the plan, and I'm going to stick to this plan, and then not beating myself up if I fall off that plan. So it was like, you know, I had this perfectionist mindset where it has to go this way, and if it doesn't, then I'm a failure. And so just understanding all that, due to my traumas, due to the connections, due to the experiences, yada, 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 right? And so through this journey, it's helped me gain so much more wisdom. It's helped me see a different light within the world, within myself, overcome, you know, with my health journey, with my spiritual journey, with my financial journey, and, you know, allowing myself to see a different side of me, allowing others to see a different side of me as well too. Because throughout this journey, it's like, you know, I was always thinking I had to plan everything. I was always worried that this wasn't going to work out for me. And I had to let that go. I had to release it. You know, and a lot of this I talk in my music as well too. So it's like I had to surrender to the fact that everything is working out in my favor. I'm always abundant. I'm always going to be taken care of no matter what. And so a lot throughout all this journey, it's like I lost my job, I lost my car, I lost friends, I lost family. I've disconnected, you know, from people that I thought were going to be in my life for the rest of my life, kind of thing. And just trusting in the universe that, you know, sometimes things just don't work out. And allowing that to happen, allowing that to just continue to move forward, and accepting what new comes in, and understanding that, and knowing what I don't want and what I do want, and what I want to surround myself with, and how I want to hold myself, and who I really want to be, and taking control of my reality, and continuing to grow, continuing to really be able to have that hope within myself, but also to share it with others. Hence the fact that why I'm sharing this video, right? And so it's been so beautiful, and so much. It's like a good overwhelming feeling now, because it's like, even though there was so much heaviness, there was so much stuff, bullshit that I went through, it's like I'm grateful for all of it. I don't regret any of it, right? Because it's helped me get to where I'm at today. The fact that I don't have to do certain things, because I'm on this journey for myself, and I worked really hard to get to where I'm at. And there will be haters. There will be people, envious, jealous people. Even if they know your story, even if they know certain things that you've experienced, they still will be jealous. But that's because there's something within themselves that they need to work on. And just understanding that and sending love to them as well too. It's like, I don't want to be on that level of envious or jealousy or hate, or just that low vibrational energy. I share my message of hope, and I've always wanted to be of a positive light. You know, I was always this individual within myself, but there's certain people that will come into your life to teach you these lessons, to really test you in a sense, right? to see if you believe you're worth staying around these individuals, or if you know, awaken to this point in your life to believe that you deserve better. And so that's really been a part of a lot of my experiences, is just knowing that, that I've had so much love for people. I've, put so much out into these individuals, some of these individuals. And I had to understand that it's like, okay, I can still love these people, but I don't have to overextend myself to a point where I'm losing myself. I'm not setting boundaries. I'm, overdoing certain things. I'm not being respected. I'm not getting the same type of energy back, right? And so for me, I've worked on that, because I'm a giver. I love helping people. I love, doing things for people, and it feels weird when people do things for me. So it was the other thing as well too, where I had to work on accepting, receiving things, receiving love, receiving this goodness, this kindness, right, from others as well too. And so if you believe that you don't deserve happiness, you don't deserve love, then that's what the universe is going to give you. That energy is going to come around these individuals, these environments, these places, right? And so I had to start reprogramming my mind to believe that I deserve love, that I deserve to be respected, that I am enough, that I'm here for a reason, and I deserve better environments, relationships, connections, and all. And that's where I had to start showing myself love. And I didn't have to do this. I chose to do it. So there is that too. Like, we all have a choice in this world. We can choose to focus on the negative. We can choose to stay in that job, stay in that relationship, stay in that environment, stay in that mindset, and I wanted to choose better. And just knowing that it's all a part of the journey. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. And one day you're going to look back and you're going to be like, holy shit, I did it. Like, I did more and then some, and that's the beauty in itself, right? It's not just looking back, but the fact that that you kept going and looking at these little moments. And that's why I really wanted to work on focusing on living more in the moment, and really understanding not only that I'm always being taken care of, even if there is challenges going on in my life, due to certain medical conditions that I have, finding that right doctor, finding that right insurance, finding that right facility that, I deserve, will not only have a safe space for me, but it just holds that vibration. And that's what happened today as well too, is going to this new place and just the energy. And they had like this whole like cafe there. Like, I say cafe, but it was like a restaurant, okay? I'll do like a little video post later of it, but it's just like, it's a vibe, right? And just all these new things that are coming into place. The fact that, I started this new physical therapy. And not that I've had bad physical therapy, but this new physical therapy that I'm going to, it's also a gym, right? So I'm able to not only get my physical therapy there, which my medical insurance pays for, but I'm able to utilize their sauna, their swimming pool. And it's funny because I've manifested all this stuff too. So it not only connects to my healing journey, but it's that level up energy. It's the fact that I was like, okay, I want better. I want more. I want that high quality. I want to see what better is. Because sometimes we live in such a bubble to where it's like we're only in tune with one aspect of life, the negative aspect, the lower energy, the lower vibration of life. And so for me, it was like I only seen like a little bit. You know, we look at celebrities, right? They live like a luxury lifestyle, and you believe that you have to have millions and millions of dollars. Mind you, I don't have millions of dollars. That's the plan, though. That's the plan. But then you got to look at changing that mindset about wealth, about money. Money's an energy. Everything's an energy. Everything's spiritual. So if you believe you're wealthy, if you believe you're rich, everything will work out for you. And not focusing on the paper money, focusing on the energy of money, focusing on the vibration and the fact that you're always abundant. Because that's what I've had to learn. It's not about the number in your bank account. It's not about the paycheck. It's about the energy, the unexpected energy, right? Like I said, like my insurance, my medical insurance pays for my ride to my appointments. 1, 2, my medical appointments are paid for, and these appointments are helping me overcome and heal, a lot of the trauma, a lot of the experience. But I've also been doing the work on my own self too, because you can go to these appointments, right? You can go to these places. It's like going to the gym but not doing anything, being on your phone, just sitting on these machines, right? You still have to put in the work. So it's like I'm not only going to these appointments and they're getting paid for, but I'm also coming home. I'm also like reflecting, not only with my therapist, doing these exercises that my physical therapist gives me, really taking care of myself, really becoming more self-aware of, what can I do at home here in my sacred space, to really keep moving forward and keep growing and keep evolving. Because I could still go out and drink. I could go to the grocery store. I could go buy weed. I could do all these unhealthy things, but it wouldn't help me elevate in any way or form. So it's not only being logical about it, but realizing it's a whole spiritual experience as well too. And so that's why I share my story. That's why I share certain things the way I share certain things, because everything is spiritual. But if you look at it in a logical way, because some people don't understand the spiritual aspect the way I do. So if you want to look at it a logical way, as in like, well, how do you make your money? How do you, do this? Well, first of all, if that's your mindset, you really got to reflect on that too. Because I was that same way. It's like I have to work to make money. I have to work to survive. But that's where you have to really look at that and ask yourself, why do I believe that? Because you can work to survive, especially if it's at a job that you hate. You can do that. But you can also work at a job that not only that you love, the environment's super good, and you're making the money, and you're not surviving, but you're living. You're living a beautiful life. You're having that beautiful social network. You're thriving. You're being able to go on vacation whenever you want or whatnot, because we focus on, a lot of times I think some of us, I know in my experience, we focus on the celebrity lifestyle where they have the fancy cars, they have, the fact that they can travel all over the world. But you can still do that and not have to be a celebrity. It's just like, how you present yourself, how you dress. Like for me, a lot of the stuff that I buy is at Ross, TJ Maxx, DD's, some stuff online, I don't need to buy no Louis Vuitton because that's materialistic stuff. But I still want to look nice. I still want to have that rich energy because it's energy, right? A lot of us focus more on the material aspect of things and don't realize that it's more than material, right? And so for me, that's what I've had to really understand mentally, because it's a mental game. It's a mental mindset, which is a spiritual thing, because we're spiritual beings. We have souls. It all connects, baby. If you don't get it by now, then I don't really know what else to tell you. But I really wanted to share this, share bits and pieces of my journey, because I believe we all are abundant already. It's just our perception. It's how we see the world. So if you're more focused on a negative vibration, a negative reality, that's what you're going to get. But if you start working towards a more positive mindset, whether that's with affirmations, whether that's just with self-care, as in spiritual baths, self-care baths, right? You know, just really buying certain things that you like and utilizing it within your budget. You know, it's taking time, taking that journey and allowing yourself to be compassionate and having that patience. Because that's the one big thing that I've had to really learn is trust and patience. Trusting not only in myself, but the universe, that they got my back, taking these certain risks, but having that patience that it's all coming in divine timing and not rushing anything. Because that's where like accidents happen, right? Is because we're such in a rush because we believe we have to do this, we have to do that, and we're not focused on the moment. We're not focused on right now. Thank you for watching this video. Love y'all.